But on the other side, they also have fabulous life. Angelina Jolie, for instance, she came into acting before she was even 16 years old. But at 16 years old was her first movie that she was part of. And she's been nominated for the Academy Award, which is the Oscars. But she won her Best Supporting Actress for the Oscars. So she's an Oscar-winning person, and I mean actress. And then we have, we know her. I mean, I don't know if you guys, all of you know who Angelina Jolie is. Maleficent. That's one of her last movies that she did. And she now is not only an actress, but she's also a filmmaker and a humanitarian. One of the things that it's amazing about people who are famous is that they can be influential one way or the other. They can influence you to doing wrong, or they can influence you to doing good. So we're going to talk about influences that are good, okay? What does it mean about if somebody is a humanitarian? What does that mean to you?
I have no idea.
No idea? Okay, good
An
job.
advocate for human rights.
Okay, advocate for human rights is very good. Yeah, so they're fighting for justice of other people. Do you know Angelina Jolie actually supports over 30 different charities? Every money that comes in, most of it goes out of their home into projects and helping others. Did you know that about her? Isn't that pretty awesome? That she helps so many people around the world. Angelina and Brad Pitt have 6 children, 3 of them of their own, and then they adopted 3 children from different parts of the world. Okay? And then one of the things, so obviously she's a very generous person, right? What does the Bible say? Give, and it shall come back to you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Luke chapter 6, verses 38. And so, even though this person may not be a born-again person and she does not know Jesus, she, inside of her, knows how to be generous and bless other people with the money that she makes. Okay? And then, I told you, a humanitarian is just a justice fighter for humanity. That's what humanitarian is. We all, honestly, we all need to, one of the things that she said, that really stuck with me is that we cannot close ourselves off to information and ignore the fact that millions of people are out there suffering. I honestly want to help. She said, I don't believe I feel differently from other people. I think we all want justice and equality, a chance for a life with meaning. All of us would like to believe that if we were in a bad situation, someone would help us. And so that's her real heart, to be able to help people who are genuinely in need. What does the Bible say about justice fighters? It says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. For the rights of all who are destitute, speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. As a nation, I don't even know where we're headed after the next presidency. To be honest, are people really there to fight for each other's good, or for greed? I don't know. But as long as you live, we're called to be able to bless other people, especially when we're blessed. And to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. And Angelina Jolie does that real well. Okay, my last one is Leonardo DiCaprio. How many of you have watched this guy, Titanic, a lot of different movies, right? Revenant. Oh, it was an experience. That movie was just way too much for me. I was a little bit like, whoa, this is crazy. I kept telling Daniel, why did you bring me to this movie? It's so scary. And
I actually told her we could walk out if she wanted to.
Well, I mean, I like Leonardo, so we're like halfway through the movie, so I'm like, now it's too late. Might as well watch the rest. No, seriously, he's like one of the best actors out there, you guys. But you know what? He had to not give up. He didn't have an Academy Award. He was nominated 5 times for acting, 1 time for making a movie, but he didn't win. But he did not give up. Okay? He kept going back and working hard. You know what? How many of us think that rich people and famous people have it easy? They may, some of them do, but not all of them, right? Leonardo, he had to fight over and over again and go back and work hard in order to earn his very first Academy Award that just happened last week. Yeah. And so you're absolutely right. You know what? Working hard is something that we're not used to. Something crazy that I found out about Leonardo is that his mom and dad got a divorce when he was just 4 years old. His mom moved out and started raising him, and she worked multiple jobs as a single mom to raise him and put him through school. And he was a high school dropout. He only has a GED, but he didn't give up. That didn't stop him. His circumstances didn't stop him. He's German and Russian, okay? And that's why he brings his mom to all the Academy Awards. I mean, all last 5 of me, except for one, he brought his mom to 4 Academy Awards because his mom was his strongest person in his life, supporting him every step of the way. Did you know that? He went through a hard life before he became who he is. He is also generous. He gives millions of dollars to people, and he's an environmentalist. Do you know that God entrusted this whole world to us and gave us dominion over everything we see? Numbers chapter 35:33 says, "You shall not pollute the land in which you live, for blood pollutes the land, and no atonement can be made for the land." So, honestly, if you are living in this world, you also have a responsibility to make sure that the environment around you is taken care of. And another thing that he supports is animal rights, okay? And so I'm just talking about why these people are, even though they had a hard life, they also worked hard to become who they are today. Not everything is handed out to people, including famous people. They had to fight. If you look through most of their lives, most of them will say, Katy Perry, for instance, she was a server in LA for a long time before anybody would give her a chance, but she never stopped. Actually, I've met Katy Perry's dad at a conference. He's a pastor. So, he shared life story of his daughter before with us. And so, not everybody, honestly, hard work brings reward, okay? The Bible talks about Proverbs chapter 6, verses 9. It says, ant, like the little tiny ant. Can you believe that he got into a scripture in the Bible? Ants teach us the value of hard work. As they provide and gather, Solomon looks at another man. He says, "How long will you slumber, O sluggard?" He said, "When you rise from your sleep." Watch these ants. They don't have a leader telling them, "Hey, this is what you need to do," but they still work and they store up food for the summer and then the winter. They work so hard. They actually build colonies underneath the ants, the mountains that we see, or hills that they build. And I was showing them, if whenever you guys get a chance, go home and on YouTube, look up ant hill art, okay? And it's really cool what these little ants can do. Solomon was the wisest king that was ever alive in the time of the Bible, before Jesus. And if he's the wisest person, and he sat there and he watched these ants, and it impressed him, so he wrote about them. The ants have a hard-working capacity, and they're so tiny, right? How much more should we be? Nobody needs to tell us what to do, because nobody is telling an ant what to do. So how much more are we responsible for working hard and then doing good to other people and helping the environment that we live in to be better? Because God entrusted this world to us so we can be not dominated, but we take care of it. Okay? I'm going to let Kelly come over and speak.
Blows my mind. Every single time I'm like, oh man, Priya, that was deep. And so I don't know about y'all, but there are a couple of celebrities that automatically come to mind whenever you say celebrity. One of the main ones for me is Kanye West. Man, that dude is ridiculous. I'm always hearing crazy stuff that he's doing, and I'm just like, what? You're allowed to do that? isn't that illegal? Like, I remember, like, he was like saying that he was gonna run for president in 2020, and I was like, are you sure about that? Like, what are you doing? And all of these types of people that have a name for them, I call this the special snowflake syndrome. And the special snowflake syndrome is basically when somebody thinks that they're the best and they got everything and everybody needs to like revolve around them. They are the sun of their world, and we are like, what is wrong with you? No, you aren't. So yeah. And the interesting thing about people like this, celebrities or anybody you see, they never seem happy. They're never happy. There's always something going wrong in their life, and it's just kind of like they're always like complaining and down. And it's like, why? Why aren't they happy? And now I want to share a verse, which pretty much everybody knows. Let no one seek his own good, but the good of his neighbors. 1 Corinthians 10:24. And I wonder, like, why did God put that in the Bible? It wasn't just for us to be nice to everybody else. It's for yourself. Because if you are totally focusing on yourself, you are never going to be happy.
Amen.
Ever. Yeah. Some of the happiest moments I've had in my life are when I was serving other people and working for them, because I wasn't always like, oh my gosh, what if that person doesn't like me? Oh my gosh, and like going nuts, because I wasn't focused on that. I wasn't focused on myself. I was focusing on helping other people, making other people happy. And the result, like, it's just miserable if that's all like you think about is yourself. It's terrible. And there's another one that I want to share, another verse, Matthew 20:16. It says, so the last will be first, and the first will be last. And I want to talk about that, what that means for a little bit. And it's like, as you know, you see these people, and you're like, man, y'all have everything. Like, what could you want? But they're not happy. They're not building anything for themselves that's substantial. It's always just like you have a nice house, you have tons of money, but that doesn't make you happy. I've seen it. The more money some people make, the less happy they are, because the more they want. Because they taste a little bit, they're like, oh, give me more. And it never works up. Building up worldly treasures, I can't speak. Treasures for yourself will amount to little. It won't bring you happiness. I mean, I used to be like, oh man, if I looked like her, I would be happy. Or if I had this, I would be happy. But then it doesn't work like that. That's not how happiness works. This one verse is just like, oh, it blew me away. I was reading it. It says, you looked for much, and behold, it came to little. And when you brought it home, I blew it away. Why, declares the Lord of hosts? Because my house that lies in ruins, while each of you busies himself with his own house. And that's Haggai 1:19. And that, like, I was like, oh my gosh. Even Jesus is like, y'all need to stop focusing on yourselves. Like, being selfish, it's super easy to do. It's something that I have a lot of experience with. And, you see that person you, and you're just like, man, I just really don't like you. Like, I really want to punch you in the face. Why can't you just, like, be normal for, like, 2 seconds? Because they're just always like, oh, this life's about me, it's about me. And it's just, it's so frustrating. And, okay, the last thing that I wanted to leave you guys with is it's entirely possible to have everything you want in this world and have absolutely nothing of value. And that's the last thing that I want to leave you with. And we have our own special celebrity had a birthday. I wrote that at the end of my speech. And I had our own special celebrity had a birthday. I think March 3rd, right? That was your birthday? So we got some cookie cake, and I think we're all going to sing happy birthday in a little bit. So yeah, have fun with that.
Awesome. Are y'all singing now? Or? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daniel. Happy birthday to you. You guys are way too kind. Thank you so much. This has been the best birthday ever. And to think back off to Kelly, the one thing that's changed, it's crazy how much comes back to when you do that. So I really appreciate y'all speaking. It's great from like hearing from Priya about all the great things celebrities do. I mean, they get millions of dollars. Sometimes I get 5. And then also hearing Kelly's perspective of sometimes people do get very self-absorbed and they have a lot of nice things to show. And we're like, man, I want to be like that person. We just don't see how miserable they really are living it themselves. That's another great perspective. And so I just had 3 little concluding points. We're easily influenced. And one major thing in Epic is we're just trying to raise awareness. I think if people were just a little more aware, they'd be a little more happy. So, also, you want to be able to control what influences you. Because what influences you will make you. And ultimately, stick to good influences because we want you to make the best of your life because you're worth it. All of us can have amazing lives. And so we gather here in Epic to like throw a party, get y'all enthusiastic and pumped up because I know all of y'all can have amazing lives. And I want to encourage you guys every month to do that. So, to finish all this speaking, we're going to do Gorilla Man Gun. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah!
Gorilla Man Gun? Alright, first prize gets a Red Bull, second prize gets jalapeno Cheetos.
Who won last time?
Yes, it was the Cheetos. I remember the
Are you 21 again?
I'm a little bit 27.
Drake.
Drake, this game is Gorilla Man Gun.
Oh, that's right. It's not about me.
I got you.